Hey, this is Mike and Holly with Mike and Holly Life, and we are here getting some connection time because we know there's so many marriages struggling, and so many of the times it's because they don't get the chance to really communicate and connect, because we know how busy our lives can get. I mean, I'm one of the founders of Trades of Hope, and so I'm working a full week and trying to get through everything, and Mike is a pastor, so he's meeting with a lot of people all week long, and it's so easy to go a couple of weeks without really even making that connection. So we wanted to share with you what works for us to make sure that we're staying connected.
And one of the hard things is you're thinking to yourself, well, don't you guys connect at night? Don't you see each other at night all the time? And the problem is, well, you know what the problem is. By the time you work your long day, you get at home at night, you're exhausted, but you still have kid things to do, maybe baseball games, maybe you got to pay the bills, catch up on
And then you're
things.
So exhausted, like you just want to veg and sit in front of the TV.
Turn on the TV, and that's not connection time.
No.
And so you end up going to bed never really making a good intimate connection. And so here's one thing that we like to do. We like to just get away for a little quickie.
Yes, well, not that kind of quickie. A connection quickie.
Yeah.
So, Michael,
you've heard of a date, kind of a date night, and this isn't a date night. This is more like a carving out lunch. This is more like a quickie connection. Every now and then, maybe every couple of weeks, we just surprise each other and say, hey, where can we go? Do you have any time this week where we can just get away for an hour? It gives us a good 45 to 50 minutes of connection time.
yeah, so steal away, even if it's a lunch break, make that time. And honestly, it makes me feel loved. It makes me feel wanted, that he's gonna carve that time out for me during the week, and that I'm gonna carve that time out for him in the week. It makes us feel important, and who doesn't wanna feel loved and wanted and important? So here we are in Florida. We picked a little coffee shop, and we're gonna have 45 minutes of connection. What are we gonna do during this time, Mike?
Well, you have to be intentional. You can't just say, hey, we're gonna connect and assume you're gonna drive away thinking you made a key connections. So we're really intentional about the time we spend. We don't delve into a lot of problems to solve because we're problem solvers.
Yes, this isn't the time for that.
We don't sit and say, hey, what are you going through that's really hard right now? Because that'll suck up all 45 minutes and you still won't solve the problem. So here's a couple.
How are you bugging me? That's not the question either.
Oh,
This isn't this time. We'll do another video about that time.
That might be marriage counseling or date weekend. But no, this is just, you really want to make an intimate connection in a quick basis. So we're intentional about a few questions that we always ask. The first question is, hey, what are some of the best things going on in your week right now?
Yeah, and that's, imagine, you know what? I've gone maybe a week and a half, like we haven't even connected. He doesn't know what's going on in my life because we're like passing ships in the night with the kids going to sports and the kids involved in things and then being exhausted. So when he's asking me what are the best things, what I love about that, he's emotionally trying to connect with me. It's not facts. It's not like what happened during your week. It's like, you know what brought you joy? What were the best things that happened that week? And always start with the best things, because honestly, sometimes we just need that refocus that there really were some good things going on in our lives this week. And then what's the next question we want to ask in that 45-minute time slot?
Well, how about what are some of the hardest things going on, or some of the hard things that you're working through this week? And so we found that, we're busy. Sometimes I don't know if you're the same way, but we'll go a couple weeks and I'll find out something happened to her 2 weeks and I say, why didn't I know about that? And you'll say, because we don't even connect.
Because we didn't have time.
So I want to know if something happened at work, or if something's frustrating in the department that you work in, or maybe at the gym that I go to, or something's not working well and I'm trying to work through and process and I needed her help, but we're just too busy. So this is that time where we say, I want in there and I want to be able to hear some of that going on. I might be able to solve all the problems, but at least they can hear what's going on in your journey. So the best things and some of the hard things going on.
Yeah, and that's what works for us. I mean, really, you want to be able to connect emotionally. So make sure that you find that time in your busy, crazy weeks. You know what? If there's any way that you guys can meet for lunch or get that little bit of time alone, especially with no kids around, make sure you find that. Find your time for a quickie.
Well, if you can fit that in, that's okay too. But the cool thing you're going to find is if you try to be intentional about a quickie connection, you're going to be able to build on that later on at night. If you're working on some things intimately, later on that night, you're going to want to complete the conversation and work together in the process. And then you're going to come together in so many matters and areas of your life.
That's right. If you want to hear more about different tips for your marriage, for your kids, because we know people are struggling, and we would love to share our experience of a phenomenal, passionate marriage and successful kids they're growing up to be successful adults. We'd love to share more with you, so subscribe at mikeandhollylife.com, and you will get weekly tips, weekly ideas, how to make your marriage stronger, how to make your family have passion and purpose. So check us out there.
And go have that quickie. Sorry.